What happens when a so-called predator walks into a classroom full of peaceful alien species? You expect fear. You expect chaos. But what no one expected, was understanding. This is the story of a human from a death world, judged before. He even spoke, and how he left an entire galaxy questioning everything they thought they knew about danger, friendship, and what it truly means to evolve. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel and show a thumbs up by liking the video. Now let's jump into the story. Noah Callan sat by the window of the Star Shuttle, eyes wide as the planet Verdanus X came into view. The green and violet swirls of its surface looked like a painting. 3 soft-hued moons hovered nearby, casting gentle light across the world below. It was beautiful, peaceful, nothing like Earth. He could feel his heart beating fast in his chest, a mix of excitement and nervousness twisting in his stomach. Today, he would become the first human to attend the Interstellar Life Sciences Academy, the most respected school in the Galactic Unity Network. But not everyone was happy about it. The ship's voice announced, approaching Verdanus IX docking in 60 seconds. Noah straightened in his seat, clutching the strap of his pack. He glanced around. Most of the other passengers, dozens of different species with strange eyes, wings, shells, and skin that shimmered or pulsed, were all seated far from him. It wasn't just politeness. It was fear. Noah had noticed it the moment he boarded. The shuttle at the orbit station, whispers, glances, the quiet way others shifted away whenever he came near. Earth was known as a level 12 hazard world, one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy. To them, he wasn't a student. He was a predator in disguise. As the shuttle landed with a soft bump, Noah took a deep breath. This was it. Time to prove they were wrong about him. At the gate, a tall being with feathered arms and eyes like spinning glass scanned his ID. First human. Interesting, the official murmured. You have been assigned isolated accommodations. Follow the blue lights. Noah nodded and stepped onto the glowing path that lit up beneath his boots. Everything around him was strange but fascinating. Doorways shifted shape as he approached, adjusting for different body sizes. The lighting changed color as he moved from one section to another, tuned to the needs of each species. Signs floated mid-air in dozens of alien languages, with simple symbols guiding the way. He soon reached a small pod that looked like a glass bubble. The door slid open, and he stepped inside. It whisked him away through transparent tunnels above the ground, offering his first real view of Verdanus. The plants were deep blue, the trees tall and twisting like seaweed. Winged creatures glided between the trunks, their bodies glowing with faint pulses of color. The ride ended at a wide building shaped like a spiral shell, made of a material that shimmered softly under the light of the moons. Welcome, Noah Callan, said a soft robotic voice as he stepped inside. I am Tellan, your guide system. You have been assigned room 12 in Dome B. Your roommate has been briefed on human needs. Roommate. That made Noah pause. Would they be scared of him too? The path shifted again, guiding him through quiet gardens filled with plants from dozens of worlds. A few students crossed his path, but gave him a wide berth. One group turned and walked the other way the moment they saw him. He kept his head down and followed the trail until it brought him to a small dome with gently glowing walls. The door recognized his presence and slid open with a soft hiss. The room was split into 2 parts. His half looked like a regular dorm bed. Desk storage. The other side held a strange water pool with lights glowing beneath the surface. Then, something rose from the pool. At first glance, she looked almost human. But her skin was soft gray with tiny stars of light moving under it, and her long silver hair floated around her head. Even though the room had no water in the air, you are the human, she said in perfect galactic standard. I am Senna of the Aralesh. I live in aquatic conditions, but I am comfortable enough here. Noah, he said. Nice to meet you. She hovered slightly above the ground, keeping her distance. I have read about Earth, she said. It is a world of storms, heat, cold, and predators. It has its rough parts, Noah admitted, placing his bag on the bed. But it's also beautiful. Is it true that humans are pursuit hunters? She asked, voice quiet and curious. He sighed. Our ancestors were, yes, but most of us haven't hunted anything in generations. We grow our own food, we build, we explore. Senna tilted her head. Yet you have the eyes of a predator. The forward gaze, the teeth for tearing. Noah glanced away, self-conscious. Maybe, but we're more than that. Before she could say more, a chime echoed through the room. A wall screen lit up to reveal a tall being with wings and a glowing crest of feathers. First cycle students. The figure said, "This is Dan Solari. Orientation begins in 1 hour in the Grand Theater. Attendance is mandatory." The screen went dark. Senna floated back toward her side of the room. "We should go. Dean Solari is very strict." Noah changed into his gray academy uniform, adjusted to fit his human shape. As they walked together, he noticed Senna still kept a cautious distance, just out of arm's reach. He didn't blame her. But it still stung. They entered the Grand Theater, an enormous space shaped like a bowl, with tiered seating for every kind of body type. Noah and Senna found seats among other humanoid species. The room filled with soft hums, clicks, and glowing antennae. Then Dean Solari stepped onto the center platform, feathers glinting under the lights. "You are the future of interstellar understanding," the dean said. 180 species, one mission, unity through knowledge. Today, we welcome a unique addition to our student body, a human from the world Earth, a level 12 planet, a death world. Every eye in the theater turned to Noah. Some were wide, some narrowed, some shimmered with fear. He sat very still, face calm, heart pounding. We'll see, the dean continued, if such a being can adapt, or if instinct proves stronger than intent. Noah swallowed and clenched his jaw. He wasn't just here to learn. He was here to prove something bigger. And no matter how long it took, he would. Noah Callan had never felt so alone in a classroom. Every time he entered the lecture hall, a hush fell over the room. Conversations dropped to a whisper. Some students even shifted their seats a little farther from his. He had expected a learning curve, new world, new rules, but he hadn't expected to feel like a threat just for showing up. The first few days passed quietly, with Noah doing his best to stay invisible. He listened carefully during lectures, took detailed notes, and never interrupted. But no matter how still or polite he was, he could feel the eyes on him, curious, nervous, distrustful. The instructor for advanced evolutionary biology was a tall, thin creature called Dr. Krivax. His long arms ended in delicate fingers, and his skin changed shades with his emotions, like a living mood ring. He was brilliant, no doubt, but not exactly subtle. During the very first lecture, he'd pointed at Noah and said, "Here we have a fascinating subject of study. The only known sentient species from a level 12 hazard world. Let us consider what kind of evolutionary forces could create such a being." The class chuckled nervously. Noah smiled weakly, pretending not to care, but it stayed with him. By the third week, things were even more tense. One of the group projects involved pairing off to compare predator and prey behaviors on students' homeworlds. No one volunteered to partner with Noah. Eventually, Dr. Krivax just assigned him to work alone. "Your world is unique," the professor said, his skin turning a shade of dry orange. "It is best if you conduct an independent study." Noah nodded, hiding the tightness in his chest. This wasn't how he imagined learning among the stars. One afternoon, the tone of class shifted. Dr. Krivax entered the room with unusual excitement. His fingers clicked against his datapad as he announced, Next week, you will all present a specimen for our predator study. You are to choose an apex predator from your planet and analyze its hunting behavior, physical traits, and environmental. Roll. The room buzzed with whispers. Students began chatting about the predators they might bring. A snake-like student from Mira 4 whispered excitedly about a creature with rotating jaws. Another discussed a burrowing predator that used sound waves to stun prey. Then Krivax turned his gaze toward Noah. "Of course," he said, eyes narrowing slightly. "Our Terran guest need not provide a specimen. You are, after all, already one yourself." The room grew quiet. A few students laughed awkwardly. Noah didn't react, but inside, something turned cold. He wasn't angry, just tired. Tired of being the example. The warning. After class, Noah stayed behind, pretending to gather his things slowly. He wasn't ready to walk back into the hall full of staring eyes. As he packed up, a student approached him, one of the few who didn't seem afraid. Her name was Lumo, a species made entirely of soft crystals. Her body reflected the light around her like a living gemstone. "That wasn't right," she said quietly. Her voice was created by vibrations from her chest, like a soft musical instrument. "He shouldn't have spoken to you that way." Noah gave her a tired smile. "It's okay, I'm getting used to it." "It shouldn't have to be something you get used to," Lumo replied. "What will you do for the project?" "I don't know," Noah admitted. "Apparently, I'm not allowed to bring anything from Earth, so maybe I'll just sit in the back and take notes." "That seems unfair," she said. "You deserve a chance like the rest of us." Later that night, Noah sat alone in his room, scrolling through images of Earth animals on his datapad. Lions, hawks, wolves, all strong, all terrifying to someone who'd never seen them before. But none of them would be allowed here. Too dangerous, too unpredictable. He sighed and rubbed his face. What could he do? Just then, Senna, his roommate, emerged from her pool, the tips of her silver hair glowing faintly. "You're still up?" she asked. "Yeah," Noah replied. "Trying to figure out how I can be part of this predator project." "Didn't your instructor say you couldn't bring anything from Earth?" "He did," Noah said, his voice firming. "But he didn't say I couldn't bring anything from here." Senna's eyes blinked slowly. "You mean from Verdanus?" "Exactly," Noah said. "I've seen small creatures in the ecology garden ones that look harmless. But one of them, I saw it stalk and catch an insect yesterday. It moved with precision, patience, like it was born to do it." Senna tilted her head. "You think it's a predator?" "I know it is," Noah said, a spark lighting in his voice. "I think I found something everyone else overlooked. Something that doesn't look dangerous but is, just like me." Senna floated closer, curiosity flickering in her glowing eyes. "You really want to change how they see you?" "No," Noah replied, setting down his datapad. "I want to change how they see the world. They think humans are different because we come from a harsh place. But danger isn't unique to Earth. It exists in small ways, hidden in plain sight. I just have to show them." For the first time in days, Noah felt a new emotion rise in him, not fear, not frustration, but hope. Maybe he didn't need claws or sharp teeth to make a point. Maybe the best way to fight the fear wasn't through strength, but through truth. And that was a project worth working on. The day of the Predator presentations arrived, and the entire academy felt different. Students buzzed with excitement as they made their way toward the demonstration hall, talking about the strange creatures they had brought from their home planets. For most of them, this was the first time they would see a predator up close. Even though safety shields had been installed around the presentation area, many still looked uneasy. The idea of predators made most of the students nervous. That was clear from the way they talked, using words like dangerous, hostile, and unpredictable. Noah Callan walked quietly at the back of the crowd, carrying a small container in both hands. It looked more like a pet carrier than something that held a fearsome creature. A few students glanced at him with curiosity, but most still avoided his gaze. Inside the hall, the seating had been arranged in a wide circle around a central demonstration area. A transparent dome of energy shimmered around the space to keep everyone safe. Students sat according to body type and environmental needs, some in dry heat, others in moist zones or low-gravity fields. Noah found a place near the edge of the humanoid section. As he looked around, he saw Lumo wave at him gently from the crystal-bodied student section. He smiled back and gave her a small nod. Dr. Krivax floated into the center of the room, his robes flowing and his skin already turning a bright shade of yellow excitement. "Today," he said, his voice echoing, "we learn not just about predators, but about our fears and assumptions. Each student will now share their findings." The first presenter was a bird-like student who showed off a feathery hunter from their homeworld. It screeched and flapped in its cage, startling a few of the closer students. Next came a student from an underwater world who displayed a long eel-like creature with sharp fins. One by one, students shared stories of their apex predators, how they hunted, what they ate, and how their worlds handled their presence. Most of the predators Noah noticed relied on traps, venom, or stealth. Very few actively chased their prey. None were especially large. All were carefully contained. Then Senna stepped up. Her presentation focused on a glowing, jelly-like creature that used bursts of light to confuse and paralyze its prey. The class watched, fascinated, as it floated in its tank, flashing soft pulses in random patterns. "It is small," Senna explained, "but very effective. Most of its prey never sees it coming." More presentations followed, each with its own unique biology and story. Noah listened carefully. He noticed something important. Almost all the students spoke of predators as something other, something dangerous that had to be kept at a distance. Most of them had grown up in peaceful societies where the concept of hunting was unfamiliar and uncomfortable. That made today's lesson not just educational, but deeply personal for them. Finally, Dr. Krivax's voice rose again. "Our last presenter, Earth, the human." His tone was neutral, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Noah stood and walked calmly to the center of the hall. The room fell quiet. Every eye turned toward him. Some students leaned back in their seats as he passed, still unsure of what to expect from the so-called Death Worlder. He placed the container gently on the table in the middle of the energy dome. "This," Noah said, "is Niblet, a local animal from Verdanus. Many of you probably recognize this species. You may have even seen one in the Academy Gardens." The small creature inside the container sat still, blinking its large, curious eyes. It was round and soft, with silky fur and oversized ears. A few students laughed nervously. "That's not a predator," someone called out. Noah smiled. "That's what I thought too, until I spent a week observing Niblet in the garden." He tapped his datapad, and a large screen behind him lit up. The video showed Niblet slowly sneaking up on an insect. With a burst of speed, the little creature pounced, trapping the insect under its paws and biting quickly. Another clip showed it waiting motionless in a bush for several minutes before launching itself at a flying bug with pinpoint accuracy. "I recorded over a dozen successful hunts," Noah explained. "Niblet may look harmless, but it uses stealth, patience, and surprising speed to catch its prey. It is a predator, just not the kind you expect." Dr. Krivax's skin shifted colors. "You're calling this pet a predator?" "I'm not. Just calling it one," Noah said. "I'm showing you, it hunts. It kills, and it does it well." The class was silent. Noah took a breath and continued. "My point isn't just about Niblet. It's about how we view predators. Many of you think of humans as dangerous because we evolved from hunting species. And yes, we are physically adapted for survival, but we're not the only ones with that history. Predation exists here too, on Verdanus, in your own academy gardens. He paused and looked at the quiet room. You've been living with predators and calling them pets. What makes them different from us? Just size? Just appearance? A long silence followed. Then, one of the students who had brought a predator earlier raised a hand. But Niblet doesn't hurt anyone else. Neither do I, Noah replied softly. He looked down at the small creature now grooming itself inside the container. Predators can also be gentle, kind, loyal. It depends on how they grow, how they're treated, and what they choose. Just like us. He stepped back. Thank you. The room stayed quiet for a few moments longer. Then a few quiet claps began. Lumo was the first, her crystal fingers clicking together. Slowly, others joined. Even Dr. Krivax's color shifted toward a calmer tone. Noah returned to his seat, heart pounding. He hadn't brought a monster. He had brought the truth. And for the first time, the others didn't look away. They looked at him, and they listened. In the days after Noah Callan's presentation, the academy didn't feel quite the same. The change wasn't loud or sudden, but quiet and steady, like the slow shift of a tide. For the first time since he arrived on Verdanus Ix, other students started approaching him, not out of fear or caution, but with questions and curiosity. In the cafeteria, he no longer sat alone. A winged student from Alara asked him about Earth's weather patterns. Another from a planet with floating forests wanted to know how humans dealt with gravity shifts. Even Dr. Krivax, once cold and distant, greeted him with a nod before class. It wasn't friendship yet, but it was something new. Respect. Noah was still careful. He kept his voice low, moved slowly, and stayed aware of how his presence affected others. But now, instead of shrinking away, students leaned in. They were curious about Earth, not just the dangers, but the beauty. When he showed a group of classmates a video of a human baby giggling, one of them teared up and admitted they had never seen something so innocent. The moment stayed with Noah. He realized these small connections were more powerful than any lecture or research paper. One evening, as he studied at his desk, Senna floated closer than she ever had before. Her soft light shimmered in calming blue. "I've been thinking about your presentation," she said quietly. "It changed something in me." Noah turned his chair to face her. "What do you mean?" "I used to see you as a threat," she admitted. "Not just because you're human, but because you were unknown. But now I see how much effort you make to fit in. You lower your voice. You move slower. You give us space." "I guess I didn't realize I was doing those things," Noah said. "I just didn't want to scare anyone." "That's exactly what makes it meaningful," Senna replied. "Most species take generations to adapt. You do it in real time." They talked late into the night, not just about biology, but about culture, art, and what it meant to live on a planet like Earth. Senna shared stories about her oceanic world, and how her people used music to communicate deep underwater. In return, Noah showed her pictures of coral reefs and explained how humans use technology to explore the deepest parts of the sea. The more they talked, the more alike they seemed, not because they shared biology, but because they both wanted to understand each other. A few days later, Noah received a message from the Academy Council. They requested a meeting. He dressed in his formal uniform, heart pounding as he entered the council chamber, a large, circular room filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. At the center sat Director Thalin, a tall creature with soft flowing tendrils that moved as he spoke. "Noah Callan," the director said, "your recent work has sparked important conversations among faculty and students. Your predator presentation, in particular, has led us to reconsider how we classify danger and how we judge other species." Noah sat straight, unsure of what was coming next. "We are considering launching a new exchange program, Director." Thalin continued. Not just sending more humans here, but allowing students from Verdanus to study on Earth. Noah's eyes widened. You want to send students to a death world? There are concerns, of course, Fallon said. But your presentation showed us that danger isn't always what it seems, that with the right guidance, there can be safety and growth. Another council member, a glowing orb-like being named Manel, floated forward. We would like you to help design the exchange. You've lived both experiences, Earth and Verdanus. You are the bridge. Noah's throat tightened. I'd be honored. As he left the meeting, his mind spun with ideas. He imagined safe zones on Earth, human guides for alien students, cultural workshops, and joint science projects. It wasn't just about school anymore, it was about building something. Bigger, real understanding. Real connection. Back in his dorm, he found Senna waiting. How did it go? She asked. They want me to help launch the exchange, he said, still surprised. It's happening. She smiled, the light on her skin flickering like a heartbeat. Then maybe you really are the bridge. Over the next few weeks, Noah worked harder than ever. He met with professors, drafted safety plans, and even helped record videos to introduce Earth to alien students. The study group he'd once joined became a regular gathering, now filled with laughter, food exchanges, and stories. A student from a cold moon brought a glowing fruit that changed color when touched. Noah brought chocolate bars. The trade was a success. The night before the semester ended, Noah and Senna sat by the window, watching the moons rise over Verdanus. She asked him, "Will you go home after this?" "Eventually," he said, "but not yet. There's more work to do." "I think I'll miss being your only alien roommate," she said softly. "And I'll miss being your only human one." He replied, "But soon there'll be more of both. That's the whole point." As they watched the stars together, Noah thought about how far things had come. He arrived on Verdanus as a stranger, seen only as a predator from a dangerous world. Now he was something else, a student, a teacher, a friend, and maybe, just maybe, the start of something greater. A bridge between worlds.